Hey Jordan here. In this episode, we are going to be adding the first building into the game. So, without further ado, let's get started. So first, I'm going to go Add, Image, and Images as Planes. If you don't see this option, go to Preferences, Add-ons, and search Import Images as Planes. It's a built-in add-on, and just enable it here. Then we can go Add Image, Images as Planes. And here we have all our textures. I'm going to add the building _1. We can enable it and import images as planes. And click. We're going to go RX. We're going to go RX 90 and RZ 180. And there we also have backface culling enabled, so I'm going to disable that. Oh, by the way, you might notice I'm actually in viewport shading mode and I can see a texture. The reason why is because if we open it, I chose texture instead of material. And another reason why I decided to choose this, the viewport shading, is because sometimes with this kind of modeling, it gives some weird mesh. It just looks strange and it's quite hard to model. And for some reason, this view seems to fix that. I don't know why it happens, but it happens. It doesn't affect anything, it's just a bit hard to model. So we're going to go in, Item, and we're going to go Command A and apply all transforms. And on the Z-axis, let's just enable our tank. We're going to scale it up to an appropriate size, to maybe this big. Let's say that big. We're going to go on the Z and we're going to make the location, the Z scale, on a dimension, by the way, not scale. I'm going to copy that and divide it by 2. And it's going to move it up to exactly how high it should be. So it's off the ground. Apply our transforms. Nice. Let me just put that back to median. Then we're going to go Tab. Let's hide the tanks. Oh, and also, I also added a folder we do as new collection, and I named it walls and put all our walls in it so we can easily just hide it. I'm also going to make a new collection, buildings. Buildings, dragging our building _1 inside. And there. I'm going to go Tab, and I'm going to go Command R and make a loop cut right there. And I'm actually doing the Ian Hubbard style of making essentially a flat image of a building, making it properly in 3D, which is quite cool way of doing it. So I'm going to make another loop cut here. Whoops. I'm going to first add the windows. So we can just add first a part for the frame area of a window. So we're going to have a piece down over here, another part here, and we're going to have a couple loop cuts over here, one here, and I'm just going to do this to all the windows in this area. There, and finally there. Then we can move up and we can do all the same thing to all of these windows. This area and this area. And then for the actual window part, and we're going to try and keep it exactly the same area as the frame, where the frame should be. So just the corners of the window, not the actual piece of the window. Like this. Like this. And there. And there's another loop I need to add right around here. Then we're going to go face mode and select all of the window frame areas. Whoops, I forgot to add a couple more there. Now we can select all the window frames, I guess to call them. I'm not sure what you'd call these parts actually. I just call like everything frames in this case. We're going to right there, just select this part. We're going to go down and select all of this Actually, I think we must skip that part for now because we haven't done it totally. We're going to then go EY. And if we open extrude region, we're going to make it 0.3, I guess. That's fine. We must copy that value. So now let's finish this part of the window. And now if we check, yes, yes, and yes, perfect. We can do the same thing here. There, there, there. Let's select it all. Do the same kind of thing here. Here, and nice. We can go EY again, make it 0.3, just like this. Next, this part here also kind of sticks out. So we're going to, first let's just select this part, and we've already kind of selected a bit of it. So we're going to select it all, go EY, make it even more out, and select all of it more, EY even more. There, now it's fully extruded out. Going to then select all of this part and to the side and there. I think, yeah, that's fine. And we can go EY. Let's say right up to there. Whoops, I think I've forgotten to select a couple parts. Now let's do it. 0.4. Let's try and move it a bit more, just there. Nice. And now it looks properly 3D. This part will also have to stick out. So we can go in face mode and select it all and extrude it out. Actually, I think we mustn't extrude it too much, so maybe only half that. We can deselect the bottom part of it and select it up to there. And yeah, that looks fine. Then we can cut out the window area. So what we'll do is we'll just make a loop cut right there. And another one right there. Select the window area. Let's select everything except the windows actually. Select it all, this part, and as much as you can without selecting the whole window area. Extrude it out a bit, I believe it was 0.3. And now we have our windows, they're all inset now and nice and 3D. So they have these side pieces that I'm going to delete. Let's select all of this. Alright. I think actually I accidentally did vertices. We're supposed to do faces. Let's just go Command Z and do what we've done. And only choose the faces part. And X faces. Also this area here, we're going to go delete faces. There's this bottom bit. Delete faces. Side area. And we have this face right here that's we can deselect. And I think that is all done. Apart from the top part, which I'm going to have to also delete. Select all of that. And delete faces. We can apply all transforms. On the x-axis, sorry, not the x-axis. Actually, the x-axis, yes, sorry. On the y, the location, we go paste in the x-axis divided by 2. But there's actually a minus 5.13, whatever. Oh, sorry, it seems to have flipped, so I think this is actually correct. Change the pivot area to 3D cursor. duplicate it and rotate it by 90 degrees while you're duplicating. And now we have this nice sharp corner. So to connect these up, we're going to first join them. Go in vertex mode and merge vertices by distance. We merge 10 vertices. We can then select this side. And we can, right, so let's check how much we selected. Yep, that is fine. And we're going to, let's just select this part first. And we can extrude it out on the y-axis. Just there. And select these two parts. Nice, now it's joined up. And we can do the same to this area here. We can go EY and right there. Let's select this part as well and join the faces. Let's try and fix that, that's a bit broken. Nice, we want a nice sharp edge here. All of this part we need to join, and this part. Now they all join correctly, and it's actually for the most part correctly done. Although there's a tiny bit at the bottom that needs to be fixed. So I'm just going to go / so you see this building. Zoom in a bit more, and we can select this part, and it's exactly the same thing essentially. So we just extrude it out right around there and join it up here. Let's join all that, and then we can extrude it out on the y-axis. There, join it. Whoops, I think I did something a bit wrong where I forgot to extrude it, but that's fine. We can just extrude it right now and then we'll merge later, so it's all fine. And by the way, don't worry about these stretch textures, we will fix them later. Yeah, this little part right here, and essentially it's the same thing again and again. So this part, select this, and this, fill it, select all of this and fill. Select all the way down. Let's go on the y-axis, extrude it all the way down here. And we can join it all. And right there. And now it's all joined nicely. We can then go tab and we can go Shift D, duplicate and rotate it 90 degrees. Don't worry about any vertices overlapping. And now we have all the corners. Although if we check the vertex count now, we can open this little drop down and choose statistics. Don't know how to say that, sorry. We have about 3,740 vertices. That's quite a lot. So we're going to right click, merge vertices and by distance. And now we've only got 1,876. There's so many vertices, they're like weirdly done, weirdly merged. Then what you need to do is we're going to open, not UV editing. The reason why, by the way, I'm not going to do UV editing is because the last video I actually showed that, I actually said that if you watch the last video, I believe it's the last video, where the UV editing broke everything. Where, not everything, but it broke my screencast key. So I'm just going to split the window and change this to UV editor. Now it should work. We can open this little drop down images, choose building. If you don't find it, you can just open the image and locate it. But you should be able to find it there. Then we can just like select all the broken parts, so like this weirdly stretched image. Then what you're going to do, as you see, it's perfectly flat. So what you could do to fix it is you can either select one, which you can fix actually by doing this, but like if I think that, you can either do that, which is actually a fine way, I mean it does seem to work, or you can just go U in here, this window, and you can reset it and then scale it down. But both ways work actually quite nicely. And I'm just going to make a little jump cut of me just fixing all the textures. Right, I have done, most of the broken pieces. There's still some left, but I think that's fine. I'm just going to close this window. Whoops, no, don't make more. No, let's attempt to close the window. God, I hope I can. Right, I can't. So what I'm going to do is, it's actually a cool little thing. You can right click on the layout and delete it. Then you can go plus, general, and layout. Now we're going to go over back here, texture. Let's just add the cavity back. So you're going to click on cavity, choose both, and increase everything to its max. So also I've noticed that I totally forgot about the top part of a building. So we're going to go vertex mode, select it all, and click F to fill. Right, that looks a bit broken. Okay, you project from view bounds. It still that looks a bit cursed actually, but you don't have to worry about that for now. We can also, let's not confuse the top with the side. Select all the bottom vertices, go EZ and take it down, and then we can fill it at the very bottom. And on the Z, you can also go project from view bounds. And even if we do the side part, we can do something like this. You project from view bounds, and then the x-axis over side, we can do all of that again. You project from view bounds. Nice. We're going to go material, and we're going to make a new material. And first we're just going to choose concrete. Let's go concrete, and we're going to select everything at the bottom and assign it. And like, it looks a bit strange how big the concrete is, but I mean it doesn't really matter, because since it's unlikely that many people are going to see that much. Then we're going to make a new material, bricks, image texture, and we're going to open, and then we're going to choose search bricks and assign. Whoops, not at the bottom, sorry, at the top bricks. And bricks and assign it. We can go whoops, not that. Let's fix that. You project from view bounds. If we check it, I think the bricks might be a bit big actually. So we're going to, let's just go UV editing. The screencast keys won't work, sorry about that. And we're going to scale up the whole top part. Let's save it, and if we check it now, yeah, that looks fine. And by the way, it doesn't really matter that much what the top part looks like, since not many people are ever going to see that, if ever. But yeah, it looks quite nice. Now we have a nice 3D building, and yeah, it has some depth. We can save it now. We can then go, we're going to go in, and we're going to apply all transforms. Right, so there, if we check it, make sure we are in the center as well. We are. We're going to go File, Export, and FBX. And we're in our models, we're in our model directory in our assets folder. We're going to save it as building_1. You can go selected objects, make sure you selected your building, and apply transform. Then we can go export FBX. And if we check Unity, now we have our building in. We're going to select the bricks and the building_1. We're going to leave the concrete though. Don't worry about concrete. We're going to select our building. We're going to drag in bricks material in here and the building _1 material in here. Then finally our concrete material in. If we apply it all, now if we open up our model, it doesn't have any materials inside it. We can select the bricks in the building one. And now if we drag in our building _1, it looks really cool. Right, and as you might see, we actually have these little lights that's going through the terrain, through the building, sorry. And to fix that, it's actually a very nice and easy way. You open directional lights, whatever you called your light, it's just directional light for me since I haven't named it, it's default name. But you can change from use settings from render pipeline asset to custom and lower than normal all the way to 0. And as you see now, they have no holes in, they have no apparent holes. The light can't pass through the building anymore, which is, pretty quite nice. So as you see now, we have our building inside. A few things we need to do to the building. First, right click on it, prefab, unpack completely. We're going to add an object. We're going to add a box collider. If we check it, it's correct scale. Then we're going to add a rigid body and is cinematic since we don't want it to react to any gravity because it's a static object in this game. Now another problem you might notice is this. So it's actually a surprisingly easy way to fix this. If we open textures, open up bricks, you change from clamp to repeat. And as you see, it works like magic almost, where it's completely full. Essentially, it wouldn't let it repeat the texture again and again unless we told it to the wrap mode. But now it works nicely. Also a cool little trick actually, if you're having it's not very related, but actually if we let's say as you see here, we actually have 3 settings. Don't worry about trillion here. By the way, you might notice what the filter level is. Essentially, if we make it like a point no filter, this is actually like a pixel art almost. So if you're doing some, let's say a Minecraft clone, which was at one point surprisingly popular, then you'd make your textures all point no filter. Otherwise, Unity would try to blur them all and they would look very strange. So with some textures though, like in high resolution games like this, you really you don't want pixel art building, so you want to set it to bilinear or trilinear. I don't know how to pronounce any of those, so I'm probably saying them completely wrong, so sorry about that. But now we have our first building in. If we go to prefabs, we can go to our building. We can drag in our building inside the prefabs folder. Now we have building _1. And it looks quite nice in the game. We can save it all, and if we open our game and play it, right, let's just drive around. And now we have our actual building in, and it looks quite nice. So you can try drive through it. It won't really work at all, which is, well, probably quite good. Whoa. Okay, it attempted to drive through it, but it then failed. Oh, and also there's another bug that I was meant to fix in the last video, but I forgot about it. So essentially, if we drive around, let's just drive to this hill. Sometimes the actual turning, it goes really weird and it like this, where it like lifts up in the air, and it looks very strange actually. Apparently I can't recreate the bug, but essentially what happened is, if I just show you, but kind of by cheating, if we turn, essentially it would kind of lift out in the air and like really like turn like this. So the way to fix it, if you are having that, by the way, is just to lower the movement speed to like 0.1, I believe. So if we save it and we drive around, the tank moves slower, which might actually be good, because I don't think tanks are the fastest machines in the world, but I think now it works a lot better. So before I end off this video though, there's one last cool feature I want to show you. So if we duplicate the buildings, and we can then go add a model. In the last episode, I believe it's the last episode, I added the smaller wall, but I never used it. I said in the next episode I would use it. Well, I didn't. I don't know if it was the last episode. It might have been before the last episode, the episode before that. But essentially, I did walls, and essentially these I never used them. So I think we should add them now. But essentially, the plan was they would block the tanks, so enemy tanks, and the player itself from so their obstacle avoidance would try and take the longer route, which is quite cool. So you can kind of have walls in the area, and I think it looks quite cool with the graffiti. And so before you start duplicating hundreds of walls, first we're just going to go prefab, unpack completely, rigid body, and a box collider. We're going to drag in the wall into our prefabs folder. Also, before I carry on, the tank looks really broken, my goodness. I think the way to fix this is click on the tank, overrides, and apply all. There, now the tank is actually fixed. Well, we're going to duplicate our wall. And we can duplicate again. And also, in our environments, I'm going to clean up everything again. So, walls, which is going to be all in that little, I guess, folder almost. It's not really a folder, it's an object, but let's just call it a folder, I guess. And buildings, this is where we can put our buildings, and it just organizes it quite nicely. Oh, and a cool little trick actually I learned is that if you click Alt, then it'll close everything, and it's completely closed. But if we click Alt and open it all, it opens everything. Every child as well inside it. So yeah, it's a cool little trick, and it even works. Let's say we open all this and we click Alt in the sample scene in this little area. Might be called whatever you named your scene. We click Alt and close it all, and it's all closed. We click Alt and open it, and every child inside it is open, including all the tanks. So we can just close it all, and if we press play, hopefully the wards should work. It's a bit hard to see actually, you know what I do? Well, okay, that's a bit broken. Well, okay, let's replay and pretend that didn't happen. Right, that's a bug for another day. We can just drive around, and if we just drive over to the walls, just so we get a bit of a better view on it. We can attempt to drive in. Well, I think what I must actually do on the buildings is if we open the building prefab, not the object, the prefab, I think I should make the collider a bit thinner, so maybe the size just a bit thinner. And we copy this across on the X and the Z axis. Now if we press play, hopefully it'll work a bit better. This is just because the collider is a bit closer together. I might even just move the buildings a bit further apart from each other. Right, and now if we just drive. Oh, we can't see our tank right now, but let's just drive around. And now, hopefully, it will be able to stop our tank. And it works. Okay, this is the end of this episode. In the next episode, we're actually going to be working on our AI system, which is going to be quite cool. So, yeah, bye. And I'll see you in the next episode.